Welcome back to Steak School, where we break down every cut of beef so you know exactly what you're cooking and how to make it shine. Today's lesson is one of the most underrated cuts out there, the Bavette steak. You won't see it everywhere, but if you know what to ask for, this butcher's cut is an absolute hidden gem. The Bavette comes from the bottom sirloin, right near the flank and skirt. It's a long, flat cut with a very open grain structure. Its name comes from France, Bavette, and it's called the flap steak if you're in the United States, but they should be calling it Bavette. Think of it as the cousin to the flank steak, but a bit more tender and juicier if you treat it right. This cut has been a butcher's secret for years. They'd often keep it for themselves because of its rich, beefy flavor and versatility. In fact, in France, it's considered a bistro classic, usually pan-seared and served with fries and a sauce on the side. What makes the Bavette stand out is its bold flavor. It's got that deep, beefy profile that steak lovers chase, but it's not quite as heavy as a ribeye. Texture-wise, the loose grain means it can be exceptionally tender if sliced properly. But it can also turn chewy if you don't respect the grain. We'll get to that in a minute. The Bavette thrives on high heat and quick cooking. Whether you're using a cast iron pan, a flat top, or a grill, the goal is to sear it hard and build a crust while keeping the inside a good medium rare. That's about 125, 130 degrees Fahrenheit before resting. And if you want my opinion, I think you should pull it around 115. Because it's thinner than cuts like striploin, you don't want to overdo it. A minute or two long, and it can cross into that chewy territory. This is one of those steaks where a meat thermometer is your best friend. Some pro tips with the Bavette steak: resting it. Always let the steak rest after cooking at least 5 to 10 minutes. This gives the juices time to redistribute so every bite stays juicy. Slicing against the grain is extremely important. It's absolutely critical, honestly. The Bavette has a long, visible muscular fiber. If you cut with the grain, you'll be chewing for a while. If you cut across the grain into thin slices, you'll unlock that tenderness. And finally, marinades. This steak takes on flavor beautifully because of its open grain. A simple marinade with olive oil, garlic, some herbs, or even something with citrus or soy will add layers of flavor. But it's also fantastic with just salt and pepper. This cut is versatile. You can serve it whole like a traditional steak or slice it thin for dishes like fajitas, steak tacos, or a hearty steak sandwich. In France, it's often served bistro-style with a side of fries and a peppercorn sauce. For something brighter, a chimichurri or salsa verde works perfectly with its bold beefiness. You can even use it as a centerpiece cut for sharing. Slice it on a board, serve it family style, and let people dig in. It's affordable enough that you can cook it often, but flavorful enough that it always feels like a treat. So that's the Bavette steak, a cut that's flown under the radar for far too long. It's rich, flavorful, and versatile, and when cooked and sliced properly, it's every bit as satisfying as the more expensive cuts. Next time you're at your butcher, ask for it by name. Chances are, once you try it, the Bavette will earn a permanent spot in your steak rotation. That's it for today, class. Steak school dismissed. All right, gang, I'm not joking. The Bavette steak was absolutely delectable. I cooked it just as I mentioned, went for that medium rare. Pretty sure I nailed it. Really happy about this. If I could have done anything differently, I would have gone for a little more char on the outside, but that's not the end of the world. So, how am I going to enjoy this? Of course, I'm going to throw on some chimichurri. But before we get there, let's just take one more peek at these juicy, tender slices. I love it when a steak sliced across the grain like this is just, delicious. Bud, this gets me all sorts of revved up. I can't even wait to dive into this. Check it out. Chimichurri, picked up from my local butcher as well when I picked up this steak. Super stoked that I did that. This stuff is absolutely delectable. I just spreaded it out evenly, tried to, lay things out on their side, like almost, spread these out like a deck of cards or something. And we're just going to plop a couple little splotches of this chimichurri on top and then dive right in. The chimichurri balances out that beefy flavor so much. Not saying the beefy flavor is bad in any way, shape, or form, but it's so great when you have something that cuts it perfectly. So you can just have that quick mouthful of meat, but it just is so overloaded with flavor. So thanks for taking the time to watch my steak school series. If you enjoyed this, I already have about 8 or 9 other steak school videos out right now. So go watch them, like and subscribe. Enjoy yourself, enjoy some good barbecue, and make sure you check back. I'm on Instagram and TikTok as well. So if you like this stuff, jump over there, like, subscribe, follow me. Let me know in the comments below how much you love steak. Until next time, remember, barbecue for